Happy Sunday, everybody. This week at the box, your coaches are going to be making it a point to talk with you guys a little bit about intensity. So I know we've had a lot of newer people join the box in the past few months, and we have some older veterans as well. And I think it's good that we review some of these core concepts um, on a yearly basis to kind of refocus on what it is that we're trying to do in the box. So I have a question for you today. Number one, what is your primary goal or focus when you come to the gym? This is a question that we ask all of our athletes the very first day. They come in, they fill out a waiver. On the back of the waiver, there's a question that just simply says, rank the following three items in order from most important to least important. We have look better, feel better, and perform better. And that can change over time. I know a lot of people start off saying, hey, I'd like to look better, I'd like to feel better, and then the longer they come, the more they start to pursue that idea of performance. But I think it's important, that we check ourselves every once in a while just to make sure that what we're doing in the gym is leading us toward achieving that objective. And CrossFit is defined as constantly varied functional movement that is performed at relative intensity. So question number two today would be, if you had to pick one of those three as the most important piece to the definition of CrossFit, what would it be? Would it be the constantly varied piece? Would it be the functional movement piece? Or would it be the performed at relative intensity piece? And I can definitely make an argument for all three. In my mind, the intensity piece, the relative intensity, is the most important piece. Um, yes, we want to be doing different things regularly. Yes, we want to be doing movements that are functional, that apply to everyday life. But the intensity piece is what makes CrossFit work. What separates us from other fitness programs and methodologies is that intensity piece. So my third question for you today would be, what does your intensity look like when you're at the box? What does your intensity look like? And there are a couple of things that you need to think about when you're doing that. What is the workout, right? Is it a heavy barbell? Is it light body weight? Is it a long endurance workout? Is it a short sprint? But that intensity piece needs to be present in all of our workouts. And I know sometimes we can get distracted with, I don't know the right word, like the fancy movements, so to speak, like maybe the muscle ups or the double unders or the handstand push-ups or the handstand walks or the pistols, these kind of like more sexy movements. It's like, wow, that looks awesome. I really like to be able to do that. So the fourth question I have for you today is, do you want to be a competitive CrossFitter? And that's kind of a tough question because it's fun. I mean, semifinals are going this weekend, and it's so cool to watch those super high level athletes just absolutely destroy these workouts that would probably make most people throw up halfway through. It's so impressive, and it's easy to get sucked into that temptation of like, well, I'd like to be a competitive CrossFitter, and that's great. And if that is you, we want to help you do that. And the programming that we do and the workouts and the training that we do will definitely help you get there. But if you're somebody who is sitting there thinking, really the only reason I'm coming outside of like the community aspect, because I think that's so important, right? We're there, we support each other, we hold each other accountable. But for the selfish reason, like why are you there, right? Are you just wanting to feel better? Maybe, and this is totally fine because it's your body and you need to be able to make your body do what you want it to do. But do you just want to look better in a swimsuit? I mean, I know I do. Like every summer, usually around the month of May, I start sprinkling in a little extra cardio. Just trying to shed off a few extra percent of body fat. But if you're coming to the gym to look better and to feel better, I would challenge you to investigate kind of what it is that you do while you're at the gym and why do you do it. Yes, CrossFit is universally scalable. So we can scale a handstand push-up, we can scale a pistol, so that everybody in the class can do a variation of that movement. But ask yourself right now, when you're at the gym, how intense are your workouts? Some signs and symptoms of intense workouts, which doesn't necessarily have to apply to everything we do, but some signs and symptoms would be, are you out of breath? Are you getting sweaty? Are you feeling tired after you complete a workout? This doesn't have to be, every time you come in the gym, you're writhing on the floor, screaming in agony because those 21 thrusters were so hard. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you're coming to the gym, are you working hard? And one of the pitfalls that sometimes we can all trip and fall into is this idea that we need to be doing what other people are doing. You kind of look around the gym, like, wow, that person over there is doing handstand push-ups, and wow, that person over there is doing muscle ups. And sometimes we can get distracted by those sexy movements. Last week, I was talking with my classes in the evening about this intensity piece. And I asked them, I was like, let's say maybe you can do one or two, or maybe even three handstand push-ups. But it requires like a lot of setup to get there, right? You've got to get my arms overhead. I need to take a couple steps forward. I need to build my momentum, and I go into the wall, and maybe I get one or two, and then I have to stop. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, if you're wanting to be a competitive CrossFitter, you're going to have to learn how to do these movements. And a lot of us don't have extra time in the day to practice all these movements, to actually get good at them. So a lot of times it's like, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna practice these movements inside of a class workout. And I've got a guy walking over here with his weed whacker, but you got to have some time to practice these movements. So obviously, if you only have an hour a day to train and you really want to be able to do a handstand push-up, you're going to have to practice at some point. But as a coach, I kind of walk around the gym and spotting people and providing coaching cues and how to be more efficient in the movement. But what I'm not seeing is this idea of intensity. So yeah, we can kick upside down, we can do a couple of handstand push-ups, but let's say there's 10 handstand push-ups in a workout. Okay, great. But it takes you 3 or 4 sets to complete the 10. You're not really getting sweaty. You're not really getting out of breath. And I feel like sometimes focusing on those movements can take away from the intensity piece, right? Like if you're really wanting to look better, if you're really wanting to feel better, and you're not necessarily concerned with the sport of CrossFit, man, a dumbbell shoulder to overhead at a light to moderately heavy weight can elicit that intensity piece so much better than trying to do handstand push-ups for 2 minutes. Another good example might be, like the pistol. Okay, well, great. Yeah, the pistol is there to challenge people. It's a unilateral movement. You're only using one side of your body at a time. So you're challenging different areas of fitness. It's not just strength, it's not just speed, but you're incorporating balance and flexibility and accuracy, which all are very, very important. But where's the intensity, right? If you're sitting in a class and you're trying to do these single leg squats, you're not really getting out of breath, you're not really getting sweaty. The likelihood of you actually achieving the goal that you want for yourself is probably pretty low. If you're coming to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, man, we got to get everything we can out of each of those workouts. So I would encourage you guys this week, as your coach talk to you guys about intensity, evaluate your workouts, evaluate your scaling. Another example I gave in class for the handstand push-up is, putting our knees up on a box and like tipping our head down and doing kind of like pike push-up. Like, yeah, that's great. It's a phenomenal scale. It's going to get you to do a handstand push-up faster than just doing dumbbell shoulder to overhead. But sometimes when we scale these movements, the intensity goes out the window. So this week, we're really going to preach and teach the intensity component, right? Doing movements at appropriate weights and loading with intensity to elicit the response that you're wanting. If you're really wanting to look better in a swimsuit, lose some body fat, feel better about yourself, maybe some of these higher level movements that are incorporated into classes, something that you should stray away from for a little bit. Incorporate more dumbbells, incorporate more barbells, challenge your coaches, right? Put us on the spot. Hey, what could I do in replacement of this movement that's going to help me bring my intensity piece up? I think there's a strong correlation between intensity in a workout and the results that you're going to see at the end, right? Leave the gym sweaty, out of breath, feeling good about yourself, and feeling as though you would push that intensity. And the more we can do that on a regular basis, the quicker the results we're going to get.